Alright everybody, welcome to the channel. I am OG R.Schmitt. This is Custom OGT. About 4 Christmases ago, I was an introvert who still used a flip phone, of all things. Now I'm on YouTube, reacting to some amazing music. Life can be wonderfully weird sometimes. Hope everyone has had a great Christmas and a great holiday season. This reaction is to the song Gethsemane by Sleep Token. This is for channel member Raisedbywolvez. Big Will, thank you. He's a big Sleep Token fan. This song is from the Even in Arcadia album, Sleep Token's latest. I want to delve into some older Sleep Token at some point. So if y'all would enjoy that, let me know in the comments. But I was thinking about how, for me, the idea of reacting to music isn't just about discovering music, and we have discovered some incredible music on this channel, but it's about discovering life, discovering the human connection. And I took a look at the lyrics for Gethsemane before I did this reaction, and sometimes the search for a human connection exacts a pretty heavy price. But yeah, Sleep Token is they're really unique, really amazing. I can see why people have found them so compelling. The Even Arcadia album has picked up some awards at the end of the year. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into some Sleep Token. Also, if you would like one of your favorite bands featured, just join the OG team. Join as a channel member. You get to suggest 2 reactions every month for as little as $2 a month, and also some very cool exclusive content. Exclusive reactions, behind the scenes looks. You can even react with us if you like. So yeah, something to think about. All that money just it helps support the channel, helps us try to buy better equipment, make everything's better for y'all. So but yeah, let's check out some Sleep Token.
If you were wasted, but you were trying your best, and that's the thing I tell the others. I was your robot companion, you were my favorite color, and
So may seem a little bit early for a pause, but so the entire Even in Arcadia album has this beautiful, drawn out atmospheric sound to it. It feels very intimate, while at the same time very otherworldly. I've heard the criticism that it's not metal enough. I think there's nothing. To me, metal is sort of about defiance. It's defying the ordinary, defiance of societal norms, defiance of establishments and institutions. There's nothing defiant about stagnation. And a lot of great metal bands have gone on to create great work that is not heavy. Queensryche's a good example of this with Empire. Tool is a band that's taken some criticism for their later work not being nearly as heavy musically as the stuff that came before it. But if you listen to Tool's later work, it's heavy in a different way. It's very spiritually heavy. It's very emotionally heavy. I think Sleep Token is experiencing a similar evolution, metamorphosis. I'm not entirely familiar with the lore, so if you guys could help me out with that. But it's from what I've read, the first few albums were about Vessel's relationship with a god called Sleep. And this album is basically about Vessel severing his severing his bondage to sleep. So that actually would make sense because there's going to be a lot of inner work going on to break those chains. One thing that shocked me was Vessel starting this with his head voice or his falsetto. Used to him starting these songs at a very sort of rich mid-range, but this high voice he's using, it's beautiful. I know he has done some 80s covers, but yeah, Vessel has especially in this register, like his voice definitely reminds me of a voice that you would find on an 80s pop album. But there's like a richness to it. Even when he's up this high, it's got that depth to it. And there are already lyrics that are hitting pretty hard. I want you to know I've learned to live without it. Even though it's colder now, I no longer feel surrounded. You never saw me naked. You wouldn't even touch me except if you were wasted. That's sort of a double meaning to me. You never saw me naked sort of suggests intimacy that was denied. It also suggests that she never saw the real him, that he always had to put on some kind of facade to interact with her. So already fascinating stuff. So let's keep going here. Well, okay, I got to catch that transition.
I've learned to live without it, and even though it's cold, and now I no longer feel surrounded, and you never listen to me, and that's the thing I tell the others. You were my Harlequin bride, I was your undercover lover, but no, you never saw me naked. You wouldn't even touch me, except if you were wasted. But you were trying your best, and that's the thing I tell the others. I was your robot companion. You were my favorite color, and no. I'm called upon the person to try to turn myself into for you. Someone who didn't mind the push, pull by the games. Someone who wasn't always crying on the journey back. Someone who didn't feel the low blows either way. I'll always wait for you when all alone. It was you with the countdown kill switch, and it was me with the blindfold on. I was trying my best, and that's the thing I tell the mirror. I was in love with the thought that we were in love with each other.
Oh,
What might be good for your heart might not be good for my head. What was there at the start might not be there in the end. Do you wanna love me? Do you wanna hide me? 'Cause nobody hurts me better.
so Sleep Token is nothing if not unpredictable. The switch off there to those weird hiccuping beats that kind of feel less prog rock and more hip hop, oddly enough. And Vessel's return to that familiar mid range. That's something I think I've heard from a couple of the other songs from Arcadia, stylistically speaking. But then, like, the heavy guitars come in, and it becomes this very heavy arrangement that comes crashing down and then stops under these parts of silence that Vessel's voice fills in. It feels very disjointed, but in an intentional way. Like it's trying to convey the feeling of chaos as opposed to it just being, chaotically written. Vessel seems like he has a very cerebral approach. It feels like it's always written from an emotional base with Vessel, but he puts it through a very cerebral filter so he can get the best result possible. The lyric that caught me there was, I was in love with the, I was trying my best. That's the thing I tell the mirror. I was in love with the thought that we were in love with each other. In love with the idea of being in love, basically. So, I'm caught up in the person I tried to turn myself into for you. Yeah, I think there are a lot of people who fear being alone. You don't want to be alone, and like wanting connection is natural. But they're willing to destroy themselves, who they are as an individual, for the idea that they won't be alone anymore. And that very rarely works out. So it seems like Vessel there's a sort of a self-awareness that kind of, that's the through line through a lot of Vessel's work. A lot of very intelligent inner monologuing going on, where he's basically saying, yeah, I, sort of got caught up. You think that you're turning yourself into something better simply because it's pleasing this person, but you're going away from who you are. And as a general theory, if you have to change yourself that drastically to appease somebody, maybe they're not the one for you. Also, in terms of Sleep Token lore, he could also be referring to his relationship with Sleep, that he tried to become something else to be the perfect acolyte, the perfect follower, and was not getting any reciprocation, which is kind of one of the things that made me sort of scratch my head about religion in general, is that you're always expected to change who you are, to be this certain thing for this unseen entity that is not just unseen, but unfelt, that never gives you any encouragement, that never gives you anything aside from, what you're told by its representatives. So a lot of layers going on with this already. And it's a very interesting genre mashup because it's got that 80s pop feel. It's got that, those hip hop beats in it. And it's got sort of the crushing heaviness you would expect of something like a doom metal band, like a Black Sabbath or something like that. So yeah, let's keep going. Definitely along for the ride here. And I definitely think that this is something that, lyrically speaking, I think this is one of Vessel's most resonant works, because it applies to the lore of the band. But I think this is something that everyone can relate to, trying to turn yourself into something different to appease somebody, and it just doesn't work. And then when you're trying to end the relationship, you kind of still have the scars of that attempted transformation.
Do you wanna hurt me? Do you wanna hurt me? 'Cause nobody asked me better.
Do you want to hurt me? Because nobody hurts me better. Also, just even that image, you have this sort of abandoned place that looked like it was once thriving, like a paradise almost. Gethsemane, of course, referencing the Garden of Gethsemane, where Christ, suffered through all this emotional anguish before he was crucified. But here, it's like you have the ruins of this once great city. It's overgrown. It's being reclaimed by nature. But in the middle of it, this fire is burning. So that could be a metaphor for, retaining devotion to something long after it is left, long after it is past. There's positives and negatives to that. Yeah, let's keep going.
answer to you and all your enemies. I've got a few of my own, and this throne didn't come with a gun, so I got a different energy. Still see you when the lights get low, still hear you when I'm on my own. The parasites and the nightmares calling my name like this one's for you and your problems, your good day job, your bad karma. What are you afraid of? The same drama, show me what you're made of. Cause you talk about your constant pain like I ain't got none. And I've learned to live beside it, and even though it's over now, I will always be reminded.
That's interesting. It ends pretty abruptly, just with the percussion and so the sounds trailing off. I want to give credit to Sleep Token. There is so much unique percussion and just atmospheric sounds on this album. Definitely allowing it to stand out. I think it's going to be an influence to a lot of metal bands stepping forward, sort of pushing the boundaries. There was a riff that popped in there. Didn't stay around very long, but you had my head banging. So the metal is still there. It's not dominating the tracks, but it's still there to be used, sort of as an instrument, as a mood. The lyric here: "No one's gonna save me from my memories." That's one of the harder parts of healing is remembering, and it's not the memories of the bad things. Those actually can sort of help you recover. It's the memories of the good things, at the times that you thought it could work, and then it sort of plants that seed back in your head. Maybe I should try again. I think that's why people go back to bad relationships so often. And talked about the parasites and nightmares calling his name. Because once you lose something like that, it kind of leaves an open space in your heart. And you have to be careful because all kinds of things will rush up to fill that void, promising to make you whole. This leads me to an interesting thought. We've talked about the meaning of this being like a toxic relationship being ended. We've talked about the idea of within the Sleep Token lore about it being about Vessel and Sleep severing their bonds. This could also be simply something that's occurring completely in one's own head, distancing yourself from a voice that's trying to make you something that you're not. I think anyone that's suffered from depression or anxiety understands that. There's this voice which is seeming to bring out the worst aspect of you while telling you it's the best thing for you. And you have to silence it. Sometimes it's a good thing to keep around because sometimes it's a part of self-awareness to sort of embrace that, I think. But you can't let it dictate to you too much. Basically, you have to learn to control it, to harness it. The shadow, basically, as Jung calls it. So, yeah, I'm really impressed by Vessel's lyrical depth, and I'm impressed by Sleep Token's. They've got a great sense of melody and a really great variety of sounds. So yeah, I'm enjoying the Sleep Token journey. I would like to start at the beginning at some point to see where this vision came from. But Raisedbywolvez, thank you very much. This is another a very fun reaction. Always a pleasure to dive into Sleep Token. So, guys, the Christmas is over. It's time for the New Year's. Let's make 2026 the best possible for ourselves and for those we love. So mental health is real. Be a part of the start. Music is your best support group. Listen to it as often as you can. Vessel seems to be a pretty impressive therapist in his own right. And take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Thank you guys very much. Be seeing you all around.